This will not, of course, include persons born in the United States who are foreigners, aliens who belong to the families of ambassadors or foreign ministers accredited to the government of the United States, but will include every other class of persons. It settled the great question of citizenship and removes all doubt as to what persons are or are not citizens of the United States. This has long been a great desideratum in the jurisprudence and legislation of this country. This excerpt is from the Congressional Globe, the official record of debates in the U.S. Congress before the Congressional Record existed.
So today we're discussing the Supreme Court ruling on birthright citizenship. I know I disagree with their conclusion. Dan, it seems that you disagree with their conclusion. And as he just read, one interpretation of probably the correct interpretation of what the original 14th Amendment is supposed to mean. So I was very disappointed in this ruling. I was hoping that we could solidify this. So no matter how it's been used in the past, I don't see how any country can maintain itself if you can simply just sneak across the border, have a kid, and then, hey, they're American. They have no allegiance. They have no reason to be called American. I don't understand that at all. So what are your thoughts on the ruling?
Well, I think that this ruling absolutely is fine if you choose not to believe that people from other countries would act in ways that would be anti-American. If you choose to believe that China says any citizen can be activated as an intelligence at any time, they wouldn't do something like this to gain an advantage. And the funny thing is that this is typical Alinsky, where you use something that you're trying for good against you, because this was written before airplanes existed. You see, that's a big piece of it that people are ignoring. They were trying to
Mhm.
do right by, minorities and immigrants and all this stuff. They're not going to shine a light on that. That's what the purpose was, to protect the people that are doing it right. This ruling protects the people that are trying to do it wrong by adjusting the technology of today to a rule from, 160 years ago?
Right. Yeah, it's funny you mentioned China because the New York Post reported a while back of it's a whole market for citizenship farming. I forget exactly what they called it. So they come over, they have a kid, they get This is Chinese CCP people specifically. They come over, they make a baby, the baby gets American citizenship, they take it back to China, raise it as Chinese, loyal to the Chinese Communist Party, then they come back because they have citizenship and they can run for office and they can make laws, and that is completely messed up entirely. You know what? I'm gonna shift this a little bit for a second. So you hear modern liberals complain that we are the only country that stand up every day and salute a flag. And I think we are. We are the only country to do that. But they're ignoring the obvious thing that if you grew up in Poland, you don't need to salute the Poland flag because you are ethnically Polish. If you grew up in Italy, you're Italian. If you grew up in Zimbabwe, you're I don't know, was that Zimbabwean? I don't know what that is. America doesn't have that. We have to selectively give our allegiance to our nation. And that's why we salute our flag every day. Without that, we don't have a country. If we can get citizenship without allegiance to this government, to this nation, to this flag, they're not, they shouldn't be able to be citizens. It's absolutely ridiculous.
So there's two ways of looking at this: is that A, you can panic, or B, you can understand that they already understand everything that Chuck just said. And that's why immigration laws are all of a sudden going to become very clear, and
Hmm.
things like this are going to tighten up. And anybody who comes into this country specifically to baby farm will be tried and convicted, because those types of things will not be. All of a sudden now, a lot more visas are going to be rejected. People
Hmm.
aren't going to be allowed in the country. So that's the way it's going to go, since this birthright citizenship is playing the way that they played it out.
Right. Well, that's how it always goes, right? Though, I mean, laws are only as good as who's enforcing them. So if they're enforced, if our immigration is enforced and people aren't coming in illegally, then this won't be as big of a problem anyway. So, but I'm still unhappy with the decision.